But like the best decision I've ever made in my life was moving out of my hometown. When I booked that flight to Houston all the way across the country, no family, no friends, literally me and my fucking suitcase. And it really just makes you lock the fuck in and realize like, yo, I have full responsibility of my life.
A year ago today, I was working at Walmart. Graduated high school. Everybody else, was partying and all this stuff. I literally just cut off everybody. I was like, you know what? I love making content. Why not just make money while making content? So I thought about reselling. I saw other people in the online space. And I'm like, damn, if they could do it, I know I can too. I ended up meeting Cabs through Facebook. He started mentoring me, and a month later, dude, I started going crazy. I made $9K in a month, and then that same month I quit my Walmart job. So, and then it was a time where while Cavs was mentoring me, posted something one time. He was like, bro, I want to be on that bread scale shit. I want to move in with somebody. I really wanted to slide up and be like, bro, I'm in. But at the time, bro, I didn't think he will see the potential in me. So I was like, I was embarrassed to even say anything. But it's crazy. Now we're here.
Content, getting sales, all this stuff are huge struggles. But I think that 99% of resellers, the reason why they don't succeed and the reason why I was failing for a while is because.
All right, boys. So as you guys can see, I'm here with my boy BK, my boy Isaiah. We're at the balcony of our new penthouse that we just moved into. Was it 2 days ago?
Yes, sir.
And yeah, bro, this is fucking insane. We're just gonna be running I guess you could say a podcast questionnaire, just kind of chopping it up, talk about our experience with reselling, and just kind of see what's to come in the future, because we're definitely gonna run this shit up. We came here to lock the fuck in, just be surrounded by each other, like-minded individuals with the same mindset, the same goals, and just fucking run it up together, pretty much. So yeah, I guess BK, we'll start with you. If you want to just give a overview of where you're at right now and what got you into reselling.
But so I started reselling probably about a year ago. I was working at a local grocery store, and I had gotten fired from my job. And I've always been kind of the online money space. I did growth operating, I did graphic design, I did social media marketing. And about 2 years ago on Valentine's Day, I hit a crazy play on some Stanley Cups, and I would resell every now and then, but I never really took it seriously. I saw potential in the business model, but after I got fired, I decided to fucking lock in. And I'm really grateful to be with these boys. And the way that we basically met and the way that I got here is I was following Isaiah when he was first kind of starting out, and he made a lot of money really, really fast. And I realized that these two were connected, so I kind of met Cab through Isaiah, and now we're all fucking here, bro. It's such a blessing to be here. We're all gonna fucking run it up, bro. We're all locked in. It's only day 2. There's so much more work to be done. There's so much more left to go. But yeah, bro, fucking amazing opportunity.
Hell yeah, let's fucking go. Isaiah, if you want to tell them about where you're at right now, how you started, how was the journey, and what got you into reselling.
So a year ago today, I was working at Walmart. Graduated high school. Right after high school, I was looking for a job. It took me over a month. While everybody else was partying and all this stuff, I literally just cut off everybody, and I was struggling to find a job. I was applying everywhere. I would get denied. Nobody would hire me. I thought I was the problem. I eventually got hired at Walmart a month later after I graduated. I wasn't doing reselling at the time, but I was using my Walmart money to stream and stuff. 2 months later, I saved up $3,000 to buy my my PC setup and everything, and I started streaming off rip, and people would just clown me. I made clip pages. It was to the point where I would get more shares and likes, and people would just fry my shit in group chats and shit, you know what I mean? And I was so embarrassed. I would dead ass cry, bro, because it was the worst point in my life. I was actually depressed, but I knew if I stopped, I'll be proving my haters right, so it was no way for me to just stop. I had to keep on going. So in life, you just gotta adjust. I didn't give up, but I adjust. I switched up, and I was like, you know what, I love making content. Why not just make money while making content? So I thought about reselling, and I just stuck to it. I saw other people in the online space, and I'm like, damn, if they could do it, I know I can too. And I immediately saw growth. I would post random videos and about reselling and stuff, and I would see me building a community. And I ended up meeting Cabs through Facebook. I met him through Facebook. He was trying to sell me essential shorts. I wasn't going for it, but I stayed connected with him because I was interested. And then eventually I was like, you know what, I need to take the risk and get mentored. So he started mentoring me, and a month later, dude, I started going crazy. I made 9K in a month. And insane. And then that same month, I quit my Walmart job. And from there, it just went up. And now we're here in a penthouse, and I am so grateful to be with these guys, like, honestly, because this is something I would actually dream about, like, in high school. This is something that I wish, like, my local friends were on, but they were just bullshitting and stuff. And I'm just so blessed to be with these guys, and it's really up from here.
Hell yeah, bro. Honestly, I didn't even know, like, all of that, like, the stuff that you just mentioned, like, all the way back with the streaming and stuff, and, like, people, like, clowning you, and you being, like, that being your lowest point.
Can I say something more thing?
No. Huh?
Can I say one more thing?
Yeah, go for it, yeah.
So, and then it was a time where, while Cabs was mentoring me, I was, like, I was his, like, first, like, reselling mentor, and he would post, he posted something one time. He was like, bro, I want to be on, that bread scale shit. I want to move in with somebody. I really wanted to slide up and be like, bro, I'm in. But, like, at the time, bro, like, I didn't think he will see the potential in me. So I was like, I was embarrassed to, like, even say anything. But it's, like, crazy, like, now, like, we're here. You know what I mean? Like, This shit's fucking crazy.
Yes, sir. Let's fucking go, bro.
Bro, like, that's like the same thing that happened to me. Like, basically, Isaiah and Cab were gonna move in. It's kind of funny because Isaiah and Cab had this planned, and then I was the one. Me and Cab were on a one-on-one call one day, and I seen on his story, he was like, "Yo, like, we're trying to find a third to move in, whatever." And I was just like, "Shit, bro. Like, this has been a dream, bro. Like, I've always been trying to get back to Arizona. Fucking Cab's been trying to go to Arizona for a minute, bro. And it was really spontaneous, bro. But that shit was definitely worth it, bro. Like, we're all really grateful to be here. And it's crazy because, now that Isaiah was in the position where he felt like he, what I'm saying, maybe he wasn't, like, worth doing that shit. And I felt like I wasn't worth doing that shit. But, we kind of all still banded together, figured that shit out. And it's been a real blessing. So I just want to say that I'm really grateful for it. And, bro, there's no better spot to be, bro, than right here, bro. I'm not going to lie.
Oh, yeah. Fire, bro, fire. Yeah, boys. So, I mean, honestly, like, just hearing them tell them, like, just kind of talk about, like, their story, what they went through, honestly, just kind of even inspires me. Like, it even fires me up low-key. But yeah, as far as me, I actually started reselling when I was like 14, 15 years old. I used to resell like sneakers, PS5s, Xboxes, Supreme, Bape, back when it was like at its peak, and like, the hypebeast era was like, super popping back then. I was also a sneakerhead. I really love sneakers, so that's also like a reason why I was really passionate into like reselling. But then the market like just absolutely tanked around COVID, and I quit. I picked up different 9-to-5 jobs. I was like a dishwasher. I was working in construction. Fucking worked my ass off, and like in the sun, worked the painting job. I started a clothing brand. I started my own construction company. I sold my car, my brand new car that I just bought, which was a 2023 Civic at the time. Lost a bunch of money, and this year, that's crazy to think about. All of this shit happened this year. March or February 2025 is when I decided to go all in on reselling. I was absolutely dead broke. Actually, let me backtrack a little bit before that, just to give you guys like some more insights. I was living in Pennsylvania, and this was around last year, 2024, June 2024. I was super just down bad, depressed. I was, just living in my parents' home. My parents kept telling me to get a job. I was going just through a rough moment at the time with like my personal life, and I was just really down bad. And I knew that I had so much potential within me, and I wasn't making money at the time, so I was like really mad at myself knowing that I had so much potential within me, and seeing all of these other people online, especially younger than me, making way more money than me, or just living the dream lifestyle that I aspired to live. And like retire my parents, fucking buy a nice house, buy the nice cars, etc. And I would just always wake up fucking pissed and with anxiety. And I was like, bro, something has to change. Like, I really put myself in an uncomfortable situation, and I took the biggest risk. I took a leap of faith. I booked a flight across the country to Houston, Texas, which is where Isaiah lived at the time. And yeah, I had no friends, no family to meet over there. I just literally booked a flight without having a place to stay over there. Literally no friends, no family. I know it sounds fucking crazy, but I literally just fucking grabbed my balls. It was the biggest risk of my life. Of course, I had fears, doubts, worries, like whether things would even work out. Of course, I had many fucking scenarios in my mind that I was just pretty much almost predicting like the worst that could happen. But I was like, fuck it, bro. I have to make this shit work. I'm going to make it work. And yeah, fast forward early 2025, I went through all my savings, was dead broke, completely broke. And I remember I was on a call with one of my mentors at the time. He told me to like just leverage my skills. And then I remembered, oh shit, I've been reselling my entire life. Got back into reselling. I asked my mom for a $5,000 loan, and I applied for Foot Locker, which I was working there for like a week or two because I didn't have any money at the time. I invested 3 of that 5K into inventory, and then 2K I saved for bills, food, and shit like that. And then literally my first, give or take a little bit over a month, I made 10K in profit, which was pretty fucking insane. So I had a pretty quick come up once I decided to actually go all in. And yeah, now I purchased my M3 competition, I guess you could say one of my dream cars. Now I'm living in a penthouse with my boys, and yeah, honestly, it's honestly just up from here. This is just the beginning, and yeah, I hope that kind of backstory from the 3 of us kind of inspired you guys a little bit, and just kind of gives you some insights on like where we started, what got us into reselling, or just like making money online in general. But yeah, the crazy thing is that, like, you know, both of these boys became my clients at first, and now we're fucking boys. Now we're living together, which is fucking insane. But yeah, I guess if you guys want to just give an overview of like what you were really struggling at first, because obviously there's a lot of people in the reselling space that struggle with like the pretty much the same thing. It's pretty common, like, you know, not making sales, not getting customers, not getting views on their content, not actually knowing how to leverage content in the right way. So what would you say was your biggest struggle, and how was that pivoting moment where like things just completely changed for you?
I'll say content. I was like, at the time, I would try to be different from everybody else on purpose, because at the time I would be like, damn, I don't want to be like everybody else. I want everybody to fuck with me for me. Like, you just like, Cabs taught me like, you got to do what's working. You got to double down on what's working, and that helped me take off a long way. And not only that, I got like, at the time I was selling AirPods, and I stopped selling AirPods because I got bored of it, which is stupid. I got tired of selling AirPods. I want to sell clothes.
I guess like kind of like, because at first, okay, kind of bring them back where like everything shifted, because all it took was that one viral video, and then like from there it was just up from there. So like, I guess you could even, yeah, like what was the biggest thing that, I don't know, I guess the biggest thing that you struggled, and I guess your pivoting point could be like when that one video blew up and then it was up from there, or like, I don't know, really any struggle that.
Content for sure. Like, I didn't know what to post. I didn't know exactly what to post. I was just guessing on what will work. Like, I would guess, be like, is this going viral? Is this going viral? Then I found out like what was working, and I'm like, okay, these type of videos work. Then I kept on milking the same videos, and I would watch other people and see what was working for other people, and I would use those same ideas but put it with my own twist. And then as time goes, like, I just knew exactly what to post. Then I like learned, you know, the funnels of content, you know, bottom of the funnel, middle of the funnel, and top of the funnel.
So kind of backtrack a little bit. You know, a lot of people that are getting into the reselling space, or that are in the reselling space, they might not really understand why posting content is even important. So like, why were you posting content specifically? Because, you know, most people kind of rely on platforms like Facebook, you know, eBay, Depop, etc., and think that that's the way, or like the method to get to 10K a month, since that's what's, you know, being marketed all the time by these other resellers. You know, what would you say is the importance of content?
Because, you know, everybody's on their phones. You know, everybody's on TikTok, everybody's on Instagram, and you want to be where everybody's at. Everybody's gonna say, hey, sell on Facebook, sell on OfferUp, but literally there's things that people want, but they're not gonna pay, you know, the full price for. For example, like Goyard bags, you know, like that runs over $3,000. So you could buy it for $200, and I'm telling you, there's people around you that will buy it for literally half the retail price. So like, if you promote it on social media platforms, bro, like, you're gonna get a quicker sell versus you trying to sell it on Facebook or OfferUp, and you just get banned because, you know, your listings, you know, you're selling fake products, you're selling counterfeit products, versus if you just promote it on, you know, Instagram, Snapchat, you know, people are gonna run to you because that's where everybody's at.
And just to kind of add on to that, like, and then I'll go to you, BK. You know, this whole facade is being marketed online that, you know, oh, all these big resellers, they make 10K a month by selling saturated products on Facebook and eBay. Like, at my early stages of like going all in on reselling earlier this year, I knew that was complete bullshit, because I tried it myself. Like I said, I invested 3K in inventory. I listed it on Depop and Facebook and Mercari. Now, don't get me wrong, I did make sales here and there, but it was really unpredictable. The margins were low. People were always lowballing, or people would text me on Facebook. I know you guys fucking hate this shit. Hey, is it still available? And then you say yes, and then bam, they just ghost you. Like, that shit is so annoying. But very early on, I understood that, okay, this is obviously not working, so how are they actually making their money? And I realized that every big reseller was simply posting content. They grew an audience and they sold something, a digital or physical product, to that audience. And that's when I was like, fuck it. It all clicked in there. And yeah, that's really what content allows you to do. It really just allows you to generate traffic, and be able to sell that traffic. And it's honestly just unlimited. Like, it's limitless, because you are able to you have full control of the traffic that you generate, instead of just relying on these platforms, which you'll only get like 100 views, 500 views, 1,000 views, especially if you list on local platforms and just rely on Facebook and OfferUp, because you're only targeting your local area. Now, if you post on social media, you're targeting not just the entire country, but the entire world. You could literally ship international, get clients from like anywhere around the world, which a lot of people sleep on. But if you actually do it the right way, it's super scalable. So yeah, BK, what would you say that your biggest struggle was in your reselling journey? And I guess, what was your pivoting moment?
My biggest struggle was definitely my mindset, and I will talk about that in a second. But I kind of want to add on even more to what they were saying, just to stress the importance of content, because it is very, very important. And I want to preface this by saying that all of us resellers, all three of us, you watching this video, you want financial freedom. You want to be an entrepreneur, and reselling is just the medium of that. You guys need to understand that. And making content, building a brand, is going to last you forever. Posting on these marketplace apps, thinking you're going to make 10K a month selling AirPods, is not going to last you any time. Us three, we're not going to be reselling forever. You're not going to be reselling forever. That's just not the case. However, if you're posting content, if you're building a brand, you literally have an asset for the rest of your life that you can make money with reselling. You can make money with anything else. And it's such an important thing that a lot of you guys don't do. You don't understand the importance of. But this is how all the resellers are making their money. This is how you can make money literally for the rest of your life. And you guys need to understand that. And this kind of goes along with what my biggest struggle is, and what a lot of your guys' biggest struggles is that you might not even be aware of. And that's your mindset. Content, getting sales, all this stuff are huge struggles. But I think that 99% of resellers, the reason why they don't succeed, and the reason why I was failing for a while, is because of my mindset. And there's a lot of different aspects to it, but for me personally, what I struggled with the most is that I wasn't even really aware of the reselling space, because you guys are being marketed bullshit. You guys are being told lies every single day.
Facts.
And that causes you to kind of oversimplify the business. You think, oh yeah, I'm just gonna, take some pictures of some AirPods, I'm gonna list them on Facebook, and then I'm gonna be rich tomorrow. That's not really the case. Unfortunately, I didn't understand this, and a lot of you guys don't understand that the iceberg of reselling and just entrepreneurship in general goes a lot deeper. You need to have a lot more skills and a lot more understanding, and that's why people like us are telling you this stuff, because we don't, we were in your same position a year ago, 6 months ago, 2 years ago, where, we thought that we could get rich off selling AirPods and selling all this bullshit. Well, that's just not the case. And also, a lot of you guys too, another thing about mindset that I personally struggled with that held me back a lot is the self-belief. Like, I know me and Isaiah were talking about this a little bit ago, and we both kind of went through the same thing. We're afraid of people, judging us. We're afraid of people saying, oh, you're stupid, oh, you're corny. This happened to all three of us, me, Cab, Isaiah. At some point, we were all clowned on. We were all, looked at differently, and I almost quit because of that, bro. I remember I would go to school some days. They would airdrop my videos to people in the cafeteria, and I would just be humiliated. I would be absolutely humiliated. And unfortunately, a lot of you guys cannot push past that. And it was very, very hard for me to push past that, because I wanted to quit. I wanted to give up. I didn't want to, put up with the humiliation. But if I would have given up, and if I would have, not pushed through and not persevered, I wouldn't be here. None of us would be here. So I think that a lot of you guys, content, sales, all that stuff is really, really, really important. But before you get to that, you need a good mindset. You need to have the right structure. You need to have the self-belief. We would not be in this penthouse if we didn't have an extreme amount of self-belief, an extreme amount of perseverance. And I think that you guys need to build that, and a lot of people in the reselling space lack that because they think that this is easier than it really is, and that's the truth. And I know it's going to hurt you a lot of you guys' feelings. It might not be what you guys want to hear. It's not what I wanted to hear. I remember when me and Kat first started talking, I was like, holy shit, like I didn't realize the extremity of how deep this really goes and how much work you have to put in. But it's just kind of the truth. And a lot of you guys need to settle with that. You need to get your mind right. You need to get your belief right. And then you guys can actually start to scale. And that's how I personally scaled as well.
Sweet. And just kind of to add on to that, you know, it can be scary posting your first, you know, video online, especially if you never posted on social media ever, especially if you're not comfortable with the camera, and especially if you care about what other people think. But one thing I'll tell you is, bro, like it took me some fucking courage to like post my first ever video online. And of course, I was worried. I was scared of what are my friends gonna think? They're gonna make fun of me. I'm not gonna get no hoes. It's game over from there. It's done. I'm cooked, right? I'm gonna be the guy that everybody clowns, right? But what you guys have to understand is that people truly don't care about you. Like, sure, they might laugh at you. They might make fun of you. They might go make some jokes to their friends about you or whatever. But like, when you're 30, 40, 50 years old, or when you're on your deathbed, you're not going to be over here stressing about, oh fuck, I don't care, I don't know what Jake is going to think about me because I posted that video. Like, bro, they don't truly give a fuck. And even if they did, how are you going to allow another person's opinion and thoughts about you dictate your life? You're going to really stop other people, stop you from making 10K a month, 20K a month, retiring your parents, living the life that you want to live, fucking moving out to your dream house, wherever that is, or whatever success means to you? Are you really going to allow somebody's thoughts, something that isn't even tangible, stop you from living your dream life? Like, that is the stupidest thing I've ever heard. And one of the things that I really just embraced early on is just to not give a fuck about what people think. And I know I almost had I faked it at first, I'll be honest, because I always used to say I don't give a fuck about what people think. But whenever I would always click that post button, like, my fucking heart would drop, bro. And I just had to fake it till I made it, till I got comfortable with the camera, till I really truly didn't give a fuck. And you really have to like just embrace that person, that version of you that just doesn't give a fuck, bro. The version of you that's making 50K a month, 100K a month. And even if you think that's not really tangible or attainable for you at the moment, like, you just still have to dream big, like, have big goals. And don't let if other people that have thoughts about you, if other people are like really just fucking clowning you or whatever, like, bro, I don't know about you guys, but like, I just look at them like down here, like, no egotistical shit, but like, bro, who are they to fucking control my life? You know what I mean? Like, I could care less about what other people think. And I feel like all of you guys should overcome that if that's something that you kind of deal with, about other people's thoughts, or not them believing in you, because just kind of to like how BK said, mindset is really the biggest thing. And I've always been a proponent of mindset, self-development, and that's truly the fundamental and foundation that all of you guys should focus on before even getting into any business model. It doesn't even just have to be reselling, but your mindset has to be dialed in, because I promise you, reselling, don't get me wrong, is by far the easiest business model ever. And me and BK talked about this. There's literally no competition. Like, there's no fucking competition, bro. No competition. Every other reseller you guys see online, they don't operate like fucking business owners. And like, don't get me wrong, like, we don't work in a company, we're not fucking like corporate or anything like that. But when I just look at the competition, I realize like, they don't really want it bad enough. They don't even know what they're doing. And that just goes to show that there's so much opportunity in this space. But yeah, mindset is definitely like fundamental, super important. Nobody should neglect it. But yeah, what would you say, I guess, like, when it comes to like reselling specifically, what was like your biggest struggle? Like, was it like, the fear of like caring about what other people think, or would you say it's something that's a little bit more like tactical, or if you could just add on to that?
I would say my biggest struggle when it comes to like the actual like business side of things was making consistent sales, because from about like March to like June or July, I was making like, that was like my first like period of 10K a month, and I was so happy. I thought that I was gonna be making 10K a month for the rest of my life. But then just like all of a sudden, it's like my fingers snapped, and I stopped making sales from probably like June or July up until when did I start working with you? Like mid October-ish, like October.
I think around there. Yeah.
Yeah, like October. Like I was literally making like zero money, and I would literally go to bed every single night asking myself, why is this happening to me? Why am I not making any sales? And that's one thing that I had to overcome. But then the reason why I really wanted to start working with Cab, and the reason why I really decided to lock in on reselling, is because I realized that if I had done it once, even if I was super far away from my goal, that I could do it again. So I started working with Cab, and we really focused on was the content, was the stories, all of the little kind of tiny tweaks that are going to make a really, really big difference in your business, that we're going to kind of, start to introduce and start to talk about very, very soon, are the things that I personally started to lock in on. I started to make consistent sales. And once I did that the second time, and I made my second round of making $10,000 a month, I realized that once you build the skills once you see success once, it doesn't matter how much you lose, it doesn't matter how much debt you go in, you can always kind of do it again. So that was really helpful for me. But I remember when I wasn't making consistent sales, like I thought it was over for me. I thought my reselling business was done. I thought I should quit. I thought I should give up. Until I really locked in on social media, because that is kind of the powerhouse of reselling right now. It's not going to get any easier than this to start reselling right now, especially with there's so many gaps to fill, so many people not doing really anything in the space, where you can provide so much value. And once I started to do that and kind of realized where the gaps were, I started to really make consistent sales, and that taught me that I could do it over and over and over again.
Because a lot of people think that, I just need to post content, I just need to post unboxing videos, whatever other people are posting, before and after videos, but that's really not the case. You can go viral, generate millions of views, and sure, you can make some sales 100%. I'm not saying you won't if you make a viral video, but honestly, a lot of people, I notice that they lose like a bunch of sales, like thousands of dollars, whether they're selling vendor links or whether they're selling physical products or even info. But just because they don't have like the right infrastructure or like the right system on the back end, I noticed that people just lose tons of leads and a bunch of sales. So what would you say you implemented on the back end, or what kind of what kind of back end work helped you out?
So I would say, kind of backtracking a little bit, I think that the biggest thing, it was a lack of knowledge at the start, because everybody kind of understands the idea, like Cab said, like everybody kind of understands that like they need to post content to make sales. Like some people do it, some people don't, but that's generally kind of understood, and that's where I was at. And one of the things that I think was the biggest lever to really actually getting, turning those views into sales rather than just being dead leads, was actually taking my reselling business, taking my content, taking my Instagram page, and actually turning it into a real personal brand. Because the thing is, with a lot of these resellers, they post the same exact videos. Like if you go on Instagram and look up hashtag reselling, people will be reposting other people's videos, people will be using the same scripts, the same content.
I hate that shit.
No, for real. And if you want people to buy from you, you need to differentiate yourself. You need to have some sort of unique mechanism, some sort of unique factor. So for me personally, like what I did to implement a little bit more personality, was like things like, for example, the stories were things where, more raw, kind of unfiltered videos where, yes, I would have those videos where I try and, go viral and get a lot of views. But then I also had those videos where I actually got people to get to know me and want to buy from me, and didn't just view me as another reseller, right? Because whether you're running a high ticket, whether you're running a low ticket, this is something that we've all implemented. Like people need to know you, they need to like you, they need to trust you, and also community helps a lot about that. Creating a brand and then turning that brand into a sense of community. I think that's what really, really helped me actually lock in and turn those views into sales, and also just being a relatively good student as well. Not knowing that I don't know everything and being willing to adapt, willing to make changes. I think that's another thing which kind of loops back to mindset as well. But there's a lot more that you guys don't necessarily know, that you don't understand, and you guys need to keep an open mind if you really want to actually make money, especially with social media reselling.
So we know that a lot of you guys struggle with reselling and actually scaling your business. So we're pretty much gonna give you guys like a step-by-step blueprint or like a step-by-step guide that you guys can follow and of course implement if you actually want to see results. And yeah, I mean, we're not really gonna do a Q&A since we don't have any questions in front of us, but we could definitely run that sometime very soon if you guys just let us know in the comments. But yeah, we'll give you guys like a step-by-step blueprint. I guess Isaiah, if you want to start off with, I guess how you would, let's actually do this. How would you start if you were starting from complete scratch, from zero? You're not making any money on with reselling at all, but you have maybe, let's say, a couple hundred, $1,000 in your bank account. how would you scale to 10, 20K a month?
To be honest, I would start off simply just by finding a product that everybody wants, that everybody's looking for, and not what everybody else is selling. For example, like designer bags. Right now, it is about to be Christmas time. It's Q4. Not everybody's gonna, spend so much money on, a designer bag. Like for example, a Goyard bag. So you could buy a Goyard bag for like $200 and then resell it for literally $1,000. Before I buy my product, before I find out it's my winning product, I would pre-list it on marketplace apps and on Depop. Create my Snapchat account. If I get customers hitting me up, I know that's my winning product, so then I'm gonna go ahead and purchase that product. And then as soon as like when the product is halfway here, I'm gonna boost my listing because I know that's my winning product, and that increases the chance of me actually selling out that product. And then when that product actually lands, I'm gonna start creating content. I'm creating content around that product, basically promoting my product.
Cool. So yeah, to add on to that, like the pre-listing method is so fucking goated, bro. Like it's so goated. And I mean, I feel like it's pretty self-explanatory. And if you're already in reselling, you already have experience, then I mean, you should already know what it pretty much means. But yeah, this is the exact same method actually that a new client, Justine, that just joined 2 to 3 weeks ago, implemented. And in his first 2 days of listing the product, he got like 30 plus messages just on Facebook alone for a winning product, and made almost $3,500 profit mainly from that winning product in only a week. $3,500 in a week, which is pretty insane. So it definitely works. And the good thing about this is that you don't really need capital to start. You can just pre-list it, test the demand first, pretty much just validate and secure deals before you actually order the product. And then once you see that there's demand, people are messaging you, you're getting engagement on your listings, either archive it if you're listing it on like eBay or Depop, since those are online platforms. And if you were to make a sale without the product in hand, you're kind of cooked, because you don't want to really drop ship it because shipping takes way too long. But if you're listing on local platforms, then you're good. You could just secure the deals, tell them you're going to meet up next week, and then just say that you're on a trip or some shit while your product is actually being delivered to you. But yeah, now what about you? If you were to start from scratch, what would you do?
I would agree with both you guys. I think that when you first start out, especially if you don't have a lot of money, you have to try really, really hard to find your groove. Like for example, if I had $100 to my name and that's all I had to start reselling, the last thing that I would do is try and sell try and buy 10 pairs of AirPods, because the less money that you have, the less capital you have to invest, the less things you have to work with, the more intentional you have to be with your money, the more kind of conservative and the more logistical you have to be. You have to do a lot of market research, and you have to do a lot of trial and error. And if you can do research properly and find a winning product and kind of start off your business on that foundation, you not only have a product that you can sell over and over and over again, but you have kind of a niche that you can establish within reselling. Because like we talked about before, a lot of people just sell the same shit, the same products. But if you find that one winning product, you kind of start off with that and build that foundation. I think that's really, really valuable. Now, one thing that I would say that kind of maybe differentiates from a lot of, other people's views is I think that you definitely should start reselling on marketplace apps if you don't have a lot of money. If you're, if you want to start supplying or selling on social media, I don't think it's very, very smart to start that when you don't have a lot of money. I think you should learn the foundational skills of reselling. You should learn how to actually do it for yourself, so that way when you do kind of go into the higher leverage business models, like supplying, like social medias, whether you're selling links, physical products, whatever it might be, you can actually not only provide value to people, but actually build up a brand and be coherent in what you're talking about. But I think that you really should do a lot of research. You should try and find those untapped winning products you guys can take advantage of early. That way, so you can actually build a good foundation for yourself, and then scale from there. Because I remember when I first started my first winning product, and I think I was talking to Cab about this like a while ago. My first winning product was like 80 Stanley Cups, Starbucks variety Stanley Cups, like 2 years ago on Valentine's Day. And having that winning product and investing like those whatever $2,000 into 80 Stanley Cups and flipping those all in like 3 days did so much more for me than using that $2,000 to buy like AirPods and trying to sell them all on Facebook. Because if you try and do that, you're gonna get very demotivated. It's not going to do good for your mindset. It's not going to do good for your bank account. So I would definitely say tap in a winning product.
Definitely, I agree with that. And you know, one thing, if you guys are in have been in the reselling space for a while, you'll notice that a lot of these quote unquote resellers don't necessarily know what they're talking about. Like they don't actually resell. And I think that's what really affects the, I guess you could say that it gives reselling or resellers like a bad stigma, simply because there's a lot of like bullshitters out there. But I highly recommend you guys do your own research. To be honest, like do your own research on who you're learning from and make sure that they're actually competent, and actually know what they're talking about. So you don't, so you receive value that is actually going to help you get results. Because at the end of the day, that's what we're trying to do. That's why we're doing this podcast, giving you guys value and just giving you guys like some insights overall on like, you know, struggles we went through, how we overcame things, stuff like that. So how would you go on about finding winning products?
So if I were a complete beginner and I wanted to start finding winning products, the absolute worst, most diabolical thing that I would do is go on Instagram and listen to other resellers. Because like I said, this industry is so tainted. There are so many people who do not know what they are doing. You need to do your own research. And there is so much at your disposal that you don't know about. You know, things like eBay, things like Depop, other marketplace apps and other methods that you guys can use to find winning products. But like Isaiah was saying before, you need to find things that everybody wants, but nobody else is selling. And that is literally easier than ever because everybody's selling AirPods, because everybody is selling colognes. Even if instead of selling a very, very basic like Baccarat cologne, you sell something a little bit more niche that can go for a little bit higher of a price, you're going to be a lot more successful in those little things, on those little tweaks, those little differences in products that are, you know, kind of differentiating from the masses. I think are going to make a very, very big difference. So I think it's a lot about being creative. It's a lot about understanding the market, and you also have to be critical about how you think. You have to actually use your head, and obviously go off data, yes, but I think that a lot of it is just like thinking about the world around you as well, and just like the climate of how things are going, and just kind of like being smart. You know what I'm talking? You know what I mean?
Yeah, yeah. And just to kind of add on to that, because if you follow me, then you guys know that I kind of take two angles. Like I have certain opinions about this. Like I always talk about unsaturated winning products, and I kind of shit on like saturated products like AirPods and cologne and stuff. But like selling colognes, AirPods, clothes, sneakers, like that's still extremely profitable, but only if you do it the right way. So let me explain. If in order to maximize profits, you want to do both. You want to be position yourself as a supplier for these, you know, products like cologne, sneakers, you know, maybe designer bags or clothes, but you also want to be selling these unsaturated winning products that have huge profit margins, that have huge demand with no competition. So I'll tell you guys a little bit about like what I did personally. So this was like around, I mean, I really fucking cooked like I think like 2 months ago, and I was going absolutely fucking crazy. I was supplying AirPods. Yes, it's quote unquote saturated, but since I had an audience, since I had customers, since I had recurring clientele, it was pretty much just easy money at that point. I just had a VA, which is a virtual assistant, just managing all of my DMs. That was completely outsourced. I did not have to manage any DMs at all, which saved a lot of my time. And you guys are definitely going to have to hire a VA, for like $4 an hour, super, super cheap once you're actually at the point of scaling, because, you know, you're going to get to a point where you don't have time to close all DMs, to just be replying to people all day, you know, fucking customer service. It's very time consuming. And if you really want to scale a business, you can't be working on those low leverage tasks, because you need to really work on what's pushing the needle. So for example, it could be, you know, building out some fucking resources. It could be, you know, posting content. That's a really high lever that you should always focus on. Or doing market research, finding new winning products, making sure that the suppliers actually producing one-on-one quality and stuff like that. But yeah, selling saturated products is still, I would still do it, because it's just honestly, in my opinion, it's free easy money. But when you look at unsaturated winning products, like you'll see way, way, way higher demand and higher profit margins, and those type of products, which I'm not going to mention in this video. If you know, you know, but obviously you guys don't know like what's kind of like in the inner circle. You want to tell them how much? Okay, before I do get into this, I don't know, did I tell you about this product, about the product that you, I think you know about this product,
Which one?
the one that sells for like 1300.
That's not golf clubs, right?
Is it in
No,
the,
no, no.
Is it in the dashboard?
Yeah, yeah, it's in the inner circle, student dashboard. All right, whatever.
Is it the one that we were gonna go like half on, like all of us?
Yeah, yeah, yeah,
Yeah,
yeah,
yeah,
yeah,
of
yeah,
course, bro.
yeah.
Hell yeah, bro.
Nice.
Yo,
Yo, editor, cut this off,
cut that
editor.
shit
Cut
off,
that shit
bro.
off, editor.
Throw him off the balcony.
Yo, but yeah. So pretty much we got a product that resells for $1,300, and product from the cost of the product from the supplier is 100 per, and it sells every single fucking day. So like, yeah, that's currently in production right now. We're about to absolutely cook, and we have some other products as well that resell for 600-700. Retail is always also $100. Yeah, I think we got to throw them off the balcony. I'm not gonna lie. It's like, nah, but yeah, we got a bunch of winning products on the back end. But as I was saying, like, if you position yourself as a supplier and you're also selling unsaturated winning products on the back end, or not on the back end, but like at the same time on platforms like eBay and Facebook, and the reason you also want to list the unsaturated winning products on these, platforms like eBay and Facebook, because you're selling directly to customers, and that's how you're going to maximize profit margins. And the cool thing about unsaturated winning products is that nobody has access to these products. Like, there's no supplier that has these products. Like, it doesn't exist besides the suppliers that we have access to, because we have a secret method, which I'm not going to name on YouTube. But you want to do both. That's how you really maximize profit margins. And yeah, I just wanted to make that clear, because I know a lot of my marketing kind of like shits on saturated products. But if you have a brand, if you have clientele, then you should definitely be selling these products. You should be supplying them. But what I really shit on is pretty much relying on selling platforms like Facebook and eBay and Mercari to sell these saturated products, because there's so much competition. But I definitely always promote and talk about selling unsaturated products on these platforms to maximize profit margins. But yeah, is there any specific way that you would go on about, finding winning products, or I guess your experience with winning products?
Going on eBay, finding out, like checking out the last sold items within the past 48 hours, and then checking to see like what's the most sold. For example, like puffer hoodies, North Face hoodies, they go insane. They go crazy. You buy them for like $50 and you resell them for like $150. Like, that's $100 profit. That's a cook. Like, really just basically like just doing your research.
I know, Isaiah, you just recently launched your high ticket. You signed a client as well. So
Yeah.
Congrats I think you signed 2 clients.
Yes, sir.
Tell them about your experience, or I guess your client's experience with, after joining your program and, making their sales with the untapped winning products.
So with my first client, his first week in the program, I put him onto untapped product, golf clubs. You probably already know about this.
Fuck, I would have not leaked that.
Golf clubs,
Yeah.
bro.
I
People
mean,
already
I know-
knows about
I
it
know- I
now.
know.
Like,
Alright.
golf clubs.
I mean, we can bleep it out. Like, we can.
Okay,
like,
yeah.
Well,
Oh,
let
yeah,
people-
yeah. Okay, yeah. I put him onto golf clubs, and his first week, he sold two golf clubs. Beep. He sold two golf clubs, and he made
killing my margins.
He made over $1,000 profit. He made over $1,000 profit, just waiting on him to reinvest his money into more products. But my second client, he just got onboarded 2 days ago. So I'm working with him currently, but my clients are going crazy right now. Well, my first client, he's going crazy right now.
Yes, sir. Yes, sir. What would you say you've learned, like, after launching your high ticket and building out your own mentorship? What would you say, and like after having your own clients and kind of seeing what they struggle with, what is one of the biggest things that you've noticed, most common resellers struggle with? I guess based on your client's experience.
Let me think. Content. They struggle with content. Well, just like me, I struggle with content as well.
No, I was just thinking about his.
Yeah, I know. Content. It's simply just content. You know what I mean? Reselling is the easy part. You could be the best reseller, but not making the most money. It's really a marketing game. It's all about marketing. Like, you could be the most mid reseller, but be looked at as the top dog just because your marketing is on point. So I feel like marketing plays a big point in this business, and yeah.
Nah, that's facts. That's facts.
Cap's done checking out. Sam, is there anything else that you like to add?
No, I just gotta make sure, what if like the husses is watching this video too, type shit. Always gotta, make sure I look good. Yeah. But yeah, I mean, I guess, is there anything specific that you would do when it comes to finding winning products, or what would you say? Matter of fact, based on your experience with, you have a Discord server, you have a lot of people asking you questions, because you have an audience, of course. What would you say is like one of the most common things or struggles that you notice like a lot of resellers struggle with, and how would you actually help them find a solution to that problem?
In terms of like winning products, or just kind of in general?
Just in general with reselling.
That's a good question.
Because I feel like honestly in the reselling space, like, I mean, they're the same. I feel like the same questions always arise. It also depends on like what level you're at. Like there's always the beginner type of struggles, there are always like the intermediate struggles, and then there's like the more advanced struggles like at scale.
Yeah.
So
you see, the people that have the biggest struggle, I think, in my Discord especially, the people that I see, like, I wouldn't say complaining, but the people who are always like, oh, I can't make any sales, they're struggling, they're maybe not lacking as much direction, are the people who kind of buy like saturated products, but like we were saying, like they buy very, very little of them. Like, for example, if you don't have a lot of money, do not waste it on like a couple units of saturated products. Like, put it into something that is gonna make make you a little bit more money, for lack of better terms. But I get a lot of people.
So real quick, when you say that would make them a little like more money, what would, like, can you give us an example, just so like kind of give some more context?
Yeah, of course. So a lot of people, I have an AirPod supplier channel, so I supply AirPods to a lot of people, just like Cab used to do, and Isaiah does as well. And they'll buy one AirPod, and then they'll come back 2 weeks later, and they're like, oh, like, why can't I sell it? Why can't I sell it? Whereas the people who maybe buy 5 or 10 AirPods from me actually have a lot of an easier time selling these products, which is might seem crazy. However, it's all about the product fitting the medium that you are selling. You see, a lot of you guys try and say, okay, I have this product, what is the best place to sell it on? And I honestly think that that's quite backwards. You need to think about, okay, what are the platforms that I think are going to make me the most margins, and then what are the products on those platforms that I'm going to take advantage of. A lot of you guys just see products and you just buy them, and you're like, because you're influenced by social media or whatever it might be, and then you try and scramble for the best selling strategy. However, that might not be the case. If the market doesn't fit your plan, if it's not in demand, it's simply not going to sell. So if you have saturated products and you're only buying 1 or 2 units at a time, you're not going to make a lot of money, because the profit margins are very slim. They are very, very low ticket. And I think those are better to definitely be supplying once you kind of start to get to that level. The people who see a lot of success, and a lot of people, because have been kind of getting exposed to these untapped winning products, a lot of people in my Discord who are posting things like, golf clubs, posting things like coach bags. Coach bags are doing pretty decently well right now from what I've seen. Those are the people who are making a lot of money, and the people who are scaling fast and also reinvesting that money into their business. I think that's another big thing that I see a lot of people struggle with, is they order one AirPod. If they don't have a lot of money, they sell it for $100, and then they order one more, and they just keep rinsing and repeating that same cycle, and that's not gonna really get you anywhere. So you not only have to be smart with kind of where you are at situationally, and play your cards right for where you're at right now, but you also have to be reinvesting the money that you make in order to kind of get to that next level. And I think those are probably the two most biggest struggles that I see people think, and the two most valuable answers that I could give to those questions.
100%. And a couple things actually came to mind when you were talking. So shit, I could fucking speak about this for fucking hours, low key. I'm not gonna lie. So one thing that's very important is like just most people don't do, simply because they don't treat reselling as a business. And I've like brought this up many times. Like, you guys need to be tracking data and be getting direct feedback from your content, your clients. Now let me give you guys an example of what this means. So like, it actually you guys can actually not only consume this information, but somehow apply it, so you guys can actually at the end of the day, we're trying to give you actionable steps so you guys can watch this video and actually make some money from this, right? So you guys want to track your data on products and content. So let me give you guys an example. Like, on your sales, you guys want to have a tracking sheet where you have a list of all your products. And once you make a sale, you always want to track exactly what platforms you sold it on, how much you got it for, how much you sold it for, the return on investment. Like I said, which platforms sell the best, what date is sold, how long after you actually received the product you sold it, and all this information is gonna pretty much give you it's pretty much data. And once you have all of this data, you know which products sell the best, you know which products have the higher profit margins, you know which products sell the quickest, highest volume, highest ROI, which platforms are selling the best for you. That's when you have that data and information, that's when you can double down on what's working. And that's pretty much all you have to do, literally double down on what's working. And I noticed that a lot of resellers just kind of get stuck because they just fucking play a guessing game. Like, they just throw shit at the wall when it comes to content, making sales, listing random products on these different platforms, and hoping something sticks. But at the end of the day, like, if you want to scale predictably, you have to be tracking data and make action steps based on that data, right? Because data is pretty much firm. Like, it's just facts. Like, it's something that is proven to work. So why would you do something else that contradicts that data and feedback? It doesn't make any sense. So yeah, tracking data and getting feedback is super important. Like, if I were you guys, I would even do, like, if you guys are supplying, I would even have like a questionnaire that you send all your clients. Like, for example, like, you guys could even do this as well. Like you guys should dead ass actually do this. And I'm gonna do this too, is give your clients that purchase from you like a little questionnaire with a few questions, and in return offer them like a $10 discount on their next order, or some sort of percentage off on their next order. And in the questionnaire, you pretty much want to ask questions that is going to give you feedback as to why they purchased directly from you. So for example, why did you purchase from me? What do you like about my products or service, for example? And then they're going to tell you exactly why they purchased from you, and what do you like about them. Another question that I would add is, what made you hesitate to purchase from me? Or is there what hesitation did you have before buying from me? Because now you know the objection that they had before buying from you. So now you're getting direct feedback from your current clients as to what prevented them from buying from you. So some answers that you might get are like, I didn't know if you were trustworthy, I was scared of getting scammed, I wasn't sure about the quality. So for example, if they were unsure about the quality, then now you know to post more quality control videos or pictures. And if they told you, oh, I was unsure, like, if this was a little bit sketchy, I was worried about getting scammed, post a lot of social proof and vouchers, stuff like that. Based on this feedback and data, you're able to create you have just pretty much feedback to like actually create action steps that is going to help you make more sales. I'm pretty sure that made sense. Hope it did. And another thing that I wanted to also go over is kind of tying back to, like, I guess you could kind of relate it to like mindset or like self-improvement, or like just in general treating reselling like an actual business. One thing that I've brought up to you guys, like, we even spoke about this, like scheduling out your days. That's super important, because that's how you truly maximize productivity. And that's why I'm saying that there's no competition, because nobody actually takes this shit serious. Like, you should be planning your days the night before. Like, I don't know about you guys, but every single day, like the night before, I plan out like every single hour of my day, exactly what I'm doing. So as soon as I wake up the next morning, I dial in my morning routine, I lock that in. And not only that, the reason I like having a morning routine, I'm kind of yapping here a little bit, but I promise you guys this is valuable. After I dial in my morning routine, which is like an hour and a half, I'm already like completing tasks. So it's setting the tone, and I'm getting these little wins and getting these dopamine hits, and I'm like already, I feel motivated to get more shit done. Like, I'm on the right track, instead of me like scrolling as soon as I wake up, because I'm literally frying my brain. But you'll notice if you like do shit like that, where you don't actually like plan out your day or stuff like that, like your mind is just foggy, you don't have much clarity, you can't really focus. And just overall, having a dialed morning routine and planning your day is going to pretty much also allow you to just know exactly what you're going to do. So you don't have to waste fucking brain energy on like thinking, what should I do? Should I do this? Oh, I got to post content. Oh, I got to do this. And then pretty much just let random miscellaneous tasks or ideas that come to mind throughout the day affect your day, because that's how you just, that's really unproductive, because you're kind of just doing random shit and hoping, you make 10K a month randomly without actually executing on a game plan. But yeah, that's also something else that I wanted to kind of go over. Anything you want to add to that, Isaiah?
Yeah, basically what he said. I definitely something I have to work on. Scheduling my days. That's something I definitely have to work on myself.
Yo, real like quick commercial break. You guys cannot lie. We're like the flyest resellers out here. That shit. Like y'all can't even lie, bro. We all got, oh shit. Damn, I need my spider hoodie.
I got the reseller.
Fucking bro's
Reseller
first DH haul.
The reseller starter pack. He has a denim tears pants, spider hoodie, Jordan 5 off. I guess if you want to add on to that, you got anything to add?
Yeah, so I would say, personally, like when I started working with Cab, bro, my days were fucking cooked, bro. Like I would doom scroll in the morning, bro. I would fucking like watch, bro. I'd watch Netflix until like 3 in the morning, bro. He knows about that, and he used to grill me so fucking hard for it. But like you guys might think it's like, oh, like some like guru bullshit, or like some like oh like making your bed in the morning is gonna make you $100,000 type situation, when it's really not that. Because what a lot of you guys don't understand is that everything that you do compounds. Like the more action you take, the more important and valuable that action becomes. And there's no compounding without consistency. So if you are not getting up and doing not necessarily the same thing, but if you are not doing the right tasks every single day, then those right tasks are not going to become important, and they're not going to become valuable. Because doing the right thing for 1 day or for 2 days or even 1 week is not really going to get you anywhere. So you need to make sure that you are doing the right things day in and day out, weeks in and weeks out. And that's why it's important to really have a structure, not only just like behind your day, but just have an intention with everything that you're doing. Like a lot of, like Cab was saying before, a lot of resellers don't treat this like a business. They don't treat it with something that they actually have intention with. And if you don't have intention behind your day, if you don't have intention behind how you want to run your business, you're not going to get anywhere, bro. You're going to be a broke 9-to-5er like the people down there, and it's going to really fucking suck. But that's honestly the biggest thing that I think has changed the way that I run my business, and just my life in general. It really has changed my life. Scheduling my days, which seems like such a minuscule thing, but it helps. It helps a lot. But kind of going off the topic of big changes, Isaiah, what do you feel like the biggest change that you have made, kind of not necessarily in your business but your personal life, that has really helped you kind of get to where you're at?
To be honest, being way more productive. Like I used to doom scroll. Well, still have trouble doing it sometimes here and there. Probably like before I go to sleep. Just consuming random content that has nothing that benefits me in no way. But as soon as I stopped doing that, like I would like just do something actually productive, like with my business. Like that helped me a lot.
Yeah, and one thing you guys should always like keep in mind, bro. Like I know this, like this scheduling your day, having a morning routine. It might sound like a little fucking pointless and stupid, but I'll tell you right now, the version of you that's doom scrolling, that's staying up late, watching fucking Avengers, like
Bro, it's the Flash, bro.
smoking vape, like stuff like that. No shade, bro.
Watching fucking Mexican cartoons at fucking 1 in the morning. I got a clip. Hey, editor, insert the clip. What are you watching, bro?
Bro, you gotta take notes.
Yes, this fucking retard, bro.
This is how I'm gonna scale to 50K a month.
This is my mentor, bro. Hell fucking.
I gotta take notes. Make sure you gotta take notes.
Bro, what the actual fuck?
Alright, bro, chill out. Nah, but like realistically, like all of these little stupid tasks that you might not even realize, you might not even be aware of it, which is why I personally like meditating, because it helps me focus and be aware. Like all of these things have an effect on you, like believe it or not. Like the food that you eat, junk food, fucking eating trashy fucking seed oil food, always eating out, not going to the gym. Going to the gym is so fucking clutch. We're actually gonna lock in on that. Me and Isaiah have been lacking, but we're gonna
be their personal trainer.
He's gonna be our personal trainer. Bro's big as fuck. But like even going to the gym, dialing in your fitness, like it just helps your mental clarity, staying focused and all of that. And it might sound stupid, but like realistically, the version that you are right now is not making 10, 20, 30K a month for a reason, because you're not operating like that 10K a month version of you. Let's just say 10K. Because that 10K version of you that's hitting consistent 10K months, not lucky 10K months that always fluctuate, but the version of you that's hitting consistent 10K months isn't fucking doom scrolling and doing all this bullshit. And I'll be honestly, 10K isn't even that much. Like you can probably still do that shit and still like like doom scroll and do all that bullshit and still hit 10K a month, to be honest. Because it's kind of easy, I'm not gonna lie. But like to hit like consistent, like I mean consistent 20, 30, 40, 50K months profit. I'm saying profit. I'm not saying revenue. Fuck revenue. Profit. You have to operate like a different version of you, and you guys have to embody that version. And I tell these guys all the time, like we have to just always embody that version of you that's making 50K a month. Like the sooner you embody that person, the sooner you start acting like that person, the sooner you start talking like that person, the sooner you start perceiving yourself as that person, the sooner you'll be actually be that person and achieve the things that person, that version of you has achieved. And yeah, it's super fucking important. Like honestly, yourself, the self-perception of yourself, like what you think about yourself, plays a huge role in your success and in your life, which you guys should all take serious.
Yeah, bro, like you really got to be delusional when it comes to this, you know. Like you got to really be that person that's making $20,000 a month version of yourself. Like you really got to be delusional, you know.
Yeah, and like a lot of people are gonna call you crazy, a lot of people are gonna shit on you, make fun of you, but there's a reason why we're here. Like we just moved in together 2 days ago in a fucking penthouse, because we didn't let that other people's opinions or other people's thoughts of us, you know, pretty much stop us or dictate what our life is going to be, like the outcome of our life, because that is the stupidest thing that we could ever do, and it just doesn't really make any sense. Where do you guys see yourself in the next 3 months? Like what are the goals?
I have a couple goals. The first goal, well, so by the time we're out of this penthouse, so 6 months, I want to be making 50K a month. That would be absolutely amazing. And I think that, you know, like with the support that I have now, like even these past couple of days, like I've just been like so much, I don't want to say locked in because, you know, we've been moving, and we haven't been operating the way that we necessarily should, but I can see the vision, and I can see where, you know, very, very soon we're all going to get to that point where we're dialed in, we're laser focused, and the only thing that matters is our goals. We don't know anybody. I mean, we know people out here, but we don't have any family out here. We don't have any distractions out here. The only thing that all of us are working on is our dreams and our business. And I know that we all have monetary goals, and I think that us being here is going to make it much, much easier to hit those. So number one, 50K a month. Number two, dream car. I'm not going to leak it. Just know we're going to have a fucking crazy lineup, bro. Crazy fucking lineup. Crazy content coming soon with the new car. And then I would say connections as well. Another thing that is, you know, I've been thinking about a lot too, is that we have an amazing opportunity here. You know, we're very, very young. We're very, you know, fortunate to be living in a really, really nice penthouse, and we have every opportunity possible to make connections, you know, for now, for our future, you know, business endeavors, whatever it might be. So I definitely want to get out there, you know, network, get to meet people, and then, you know, once we're kind of done with this place, move into even bigger and better spot and do it all over again, double, triple, quadruple our efforts, get more fucking results, and just run it up, bro, and just have a good time, bro. Fuck the teenage dream, fuck the, you know, the hoes, fuck the partying, fuck all that shit that we all had in our hometowns that was distracting us, bro. We're here to fucking lock in, and that's exactly what we're gonna do. Isaiah, what are some of your goals, bro?
Real quick, I do have a question for you, Braden. How would you say, what kind of role would you say being surrounded by like-minded individuals, like in person or even like online communities, maybe Discord communities, or just having connections with other like-minded individuals or other resellers, but, you know, just other like-minded individuals in general, how big of a role would you say that plays in your success?
I would say that if I had to start my business with either $10,000 in cash, or I was dead broke and I could have two people that were on the same exact page as me wanting the same exact things, I would be dead broke and have those people 100 times out of 100 if I had to make that choice. Because being around an environment where not only, you know, can you share insights, can you, you know, share ideas, share goals, is really, really important, but also your energy feeds off of each other. Like this fucking dude, bro, this is the most fucking locked in dude I think I've ever fucking seen in my life, bro. And I'm a competitive ass person, bro. Like I'm not just gonna sit here and fucking be a bum and watch him like lock in. I think that should be a very like a three-way thing with all of us, bro. It eliminates the option to just sit by the sidelines and watch other people make money. Like you know, you see all these people on social media making money and you feel like you're sitting from the sidelines, but when you're actually a part of that group and you're a part of kind of an aligned vision, it just makes things so much clearer, so much easier, and it also makes things a lot more achievable as well when you have people working on the same thing. When you have an environment, just like the energy, I don't know if you guys have experienced this, but just like the energy, like when we're all working, Isaias is in his room, we're out in the kitchen doing our thing, like the energy, and just like the focus, and just the way that we operate is amazing. So I think it's valuable.
One thing I really want you guys to consider, it might be like a really big move for you guys, it might be scary, but like the best decision I've ever made in my life was moving out of my hometown. When I booked that flight to Houston all the way across the country with no family, no friends, nobody to rely on, just pretty much me, literally me and my fucking suitcase, I really put pressure on myself, and it really just makes you lock the fuck in and realize like, yo, I have full responsibility of my life, right? And nobody is coming to save you, bro. Nobody's coming to save you. And like, I know how devastating and like depressing it could be, like just being in your hometown where you're not surrounded by like-minded individuals. The only people that are surrounded by you are people that have no ambition, have no goals, don't have the same mindset, don't have the same goals, have nothing going for themselves, don't want to do anything with their life, just want to go out, smoke, drink, go to parties. It's not really a good environment to be in, especially if you want to like actually just overall not just make more money, but like just overall improve as a person, right? So yeah, I just wanted to emphasize on that. Like, moving out of your hometown is super, super important. And yeah, I think like the fact that we all moved in together in a fucking penthouse at a young age, is honestly like a fucking, it's gonna like really just fucking, it's an up spiral from here. You know what I mean? Like, there's so much upside and no downside from here. But yeah.
And Isaiah, I know that we're kind of in the same boat. Like I'm 17, you're 19. We're both very young, and this is kind of both our first opportunity to move out of our hometown and shit. And like for me, bro, it's been pretty surreal. It's been scary. It's been exciting. It's been a lot of things, bro. So I guess, like, how's your experience been? Like, not only with like kind of like accepting that you're moving away and actually making that decision, and also like getting in the groove of it in your first couple of days here. Like, how's the experience been?
Dude, I'm not gonna lie, I had like so many mixed emotions. Like, one second I'll be so excited, and one second I'll be super nervous. Like, another second I'll be super scary. But at the end of the day, bro, like, this is like an opportunity, and it's like, it's something that I don't want to miss, because at the end of the day, like, this is something that I've been wishing for since I graduated high school, like something I've been dreaming about, and this is something that I'm not letting this opportunity go, because you never know, like, I'm never gonna have this opportunity ever again. You never know, so it's a risk that I was willing to take. So
yeah, and it is a big risk. It's a big risk for me as well. But a lot of you guys don't understand. Whether you're down to your last $100, and you don't want to start reselling, or you're taking maybe even a bigger risk, almost every single risk that you take can work in your favor if you just put in the work and do the right things. Like, whether it's wasting your last $100 on reselling, whether it's taking a risk and moving out of your hometown and not knowing, if things go wrong, what's going to happen? If things go wrong with my reselling business, what if this happens? But bro, what if everything goes right? What if you actually lock in? What if you actually use that risk, use that pressure to put on yourself, just like Cab said, bro, fucking going to Houston with nothing but a suitcase and probably a baseball cap, and having to figure it out, bro. Like, if you take a big enough risk and put yourself in an uncomfortable enough position, bro, you will make it work 100% of the time. So I want you guys to understand that. I want you guys to think of risks as a good thing and not a bad thing, because you get rich taking risks. Like, that is truly the truth. You are never going to be anything. You are never going to be a person of value or anything like that if you just live your whole life playing it safe. Bro, we're young. I don't enjoy playing it safe. I love taking risks, and I think that there's even more to come, bro. And we're always gonna find a way to work it out. So I guess how do you feel about that, Kev?
Honestly, bro, like, I truly believe that the biggest risk that you can take is not taking a fucking risk, bro. Like, think about it. What is the fucking alternative of you not starting that business, of you not ordering that product, or you not posting that video? Like, what is the alternative of that? Like, you're either gonna fucking stay stuck at a 9 to 5, work for minimum wage. You're gonna stay stagnant. You're not gonna make progress. Like, you're not gonna do anything with your life. So think about it. What really is the biggest risk? You actually taking that step to actually grow and develop in your personal life, in your business, whatever it is, or just keep being the same person that you know for a fact you don't want to be, right? Obviously, I'm assuming you're watching this video because you're probably not satisfied with your life, or maybe it's not that, but you just want to get better or just actually improve as a person. And if you really just want to see growth, then something has to change. That's something that I've always told myself. If nothing changes, nothing changes. And I've always just had that quote in my mind. And that's what's really pushed me to like just book that flight and take the fucking biggest risk of my life. And it truly pays off. It truly pays off as long as you actually believe in yourself and put in the work. Then it's all up from there.
So yeah, guys, if I could leave you guys with one thing that summarizes up this entire video, is that you guys cannot be afraid. We have all taken risks. We have all done things we've regret. We've all done things that have put us in amazing positions, and you guys cannot be afraid of anything. You guys, whatever you have to do to chase your dreams, whatever you have to do to get out of your hometown, whatever you have to do to flip that first product, fucking do it, bro. Be ruthless. Do what you have to do. Obviously, to a certain extent, you guys do have to realize how much power you hold, even if you're not making a lot of money right now, or even if you are dead broke, not in a situation that you want to be. Improving yourself, taking that risk, and becoming better in all aspects of your life is going to be your biggest superpower. So we appreciate you guys watching. If you guys want another podcast, we're going to be running this up every single week right here in this penthouse in Arizona. So for the next podcast, we're going to be running a little bit of a Q&A. So make sure to leave all of your questions in the comments, whether it's like reselling related, whether it's, talking about, like suppliers, whatever it might be. But give us some good questions that we can really actually dive deep into and kind of have more of a conversation about and give you some real comprehensive answers, because that's what we're here for. We're not here to answer surface level questions. We're not here to, tell you how much we get our clothing from our supplier. We're here to actually give you guys a real, raw reality check of what reselling is like in 2025 and what you guys need to do to be successful. So I guess with that being said, is there anything that you guys want to say to kind of wrap things up?
I just wanted to say, I appreciate you guys watching until the end. This was just like this is like our first, I guess, podcast, I guess you could say, just kind of us, kind of yapping, kind of spitting some sauce, I guess, kind of just speak our minds. But I really appreciate you guys watching, especially if you're watching the outro. I'm assuming you watched the whole video. If you haven't, make sure you go all the way back and watch all of it. It's I genuinely appreciate you for watching this. Expect more videos like this coming soon for sure. Like Braden said, make sure you guys leave your questions down in the comments, so we can answer them in the next video. But yeah.
And like with all three of our stories, bro, we're no different from you. You know what I mean? Like, we did this all within a year. You watching this probably in bed, doing your brainstorming, probably what you want to do. We was in your same exact shoes beginning of this year. You know what I mean? So if you take action right now, right after this video, bro, you don't even know yourself where you could be in the next year. Because I promise you, if I was to tell myself in January I would be in a penthouse by December, bro, that's fucking insane, bro. Working at Walmart, you know what I mean? So you never know. So take action right after this video, and bro, just let's get it, bro. Just keep going. Thank you so much for watching. You know what I mean? And there's so much more to come.
Yes, sir. Fire content coming soon. Stay tuned.